Good morning once again, everybody. Apologies for not getting one out yesterday. It's a thing. Still kind of tied up in terms of schedule and just the sheer volume of things that I have to try to keep up with. It's expanding, but regardless. Oh, good lord! I made the mistake of clicking on a video from the typical leftist talkie box. Okay. Now, I swear to God, the amount of progress that people could make, especially considering they call themselves progressives, but the amount of progress they could make if they got their heads out of their asses, it'd be incredible. It'd be absolutely incredible. So, of course, the left is getting whipped up into a fury, edging for the midterms, and it's like, okay, all right. So, do you honestly think? Because this is the oh, this is going to be a ball ache. Getting into the politics, I hate doing it. Like, real deep into the politics, I hate doing it because, truth be told, I have absolutely zero faith in the right or the left to be able to do a single fucking thing. All right? These are illusions of choice, these are not choices. All right? The left stands behind the idea that all the people who went to the Capitol, that incident, they stand behind it being an insurrection. And it's like, okay, fine, whatever. 10 points to you for your messaging and propaganda. Congratulations, it's an insurrection. One guy's insurrection is another guy's democracy in action. All right? The reality is, like, and that doesn't even dabble into the fact that these people, these normal everyday people who got caught up in the bullshit, even if they didn't do shit, even if they didn't do shit, you could have been a little old granny walking through the Capitol building. You weren't supposed to be there. Um, there's a reason why people were there. It's not like before Donald, both times things were going great in this country. Everything's kind of fucked, okay? But you saw people get thrown into permanent detention, okay? These people were locked in fucking solitary. Normal everyday people, American citizens, were thrown into solitary confinement cells. And of course, their court date always got pushed back or never actually got scheduled because they're national security risks. Keep in mind as well that Nancy wanted Browning 50 cals. All right? She wanted 50 cals in place, sandbags, whole thing. Wanted to completely armor up and turn DC into a fucking fortress because Americans were coming. Yeah, I don't think voting for the left is going to change anything. In fact, it might make things even fucking worse. And given the Trump economy, I could tell you firsthand, secondhand, third hand, the Trump economy is doing incredibly well for a very select few, and for the majority of everybody else, they're getting fucking ripped apart. Okay? They're absolutely getting ripped apart. But the Trump economy collapses the government in a form where the system can no longer manage the people. On the other hand, the alternative seems to be the left economy the lefty economy, the progressive economy, as we continue sliding into the depths of hell, mostly slowly, but it's slow enough that they have time to fortify every single position so they can just flip the switch for continuity of government and start mowing down the population. Okay, those are your two choices: collapse or collapse, but with extra munitions flying your direction. All right, if you have anything to say about it. All right, this bullshit with the politics, it fucking makes me sick at this point. Because truth be told, all right, even though naturally I lean to the right, I'm more conservative, especially as I get older. You're not gonna vote your way out of this, okay? You're not voting your way out of this. All right. The reality is why, and on top of it too, like the left has no comprehension of the fucking past, of the goddamn lead up. Trump wouldn't have gotten anywhere. He wouldn't have fucking gotten anywhere if the left didn't overstep some pretty serious fucking boundaries. They were indoctrinating children. They're still indoctrinating children. As one example, flooding the country with migrants. Now, who was behind the push for all these migrants? Largely NGOs, non governmental organizations. If you go deep down the rabbit hole, you find one country had a very large interest in flooding this one with as many migrants as possible. But of course, they do the nice sales point, the sales gimmick of, these are just humble, happy people. And it's just like, some people start off as fruit pickers and then they eventually come for your Walmart jobs. Okay? Even though, truth be told, out of all the corporations, I don't see Walmart being incredibly prone on hiring illegal diversity. But that's the thing. To their credit, if there's one thing that we can at least put some credit towards Walmart for as an organization, by all means, let that be one of them. They didn't really participate too much for or against. Anyway, anyway, flooding the country with migrants, taking jobs away from the population. All they did was come here to pick fruit. Yeah, they start with fruit picking, but also you got to think about the illicit commodity trade that also came over the border. You got to think about all the other shit going on. I mean, this country used to have 350 million people in it. With the total migration, the flood of migration, they've added about 50 million more. 50 million more. Okay. Now, if you look at Sweden, all right, or the UK, now, given most of our illegal migrants are, Mexicans, South Americans, so we don't really have as much of a culture clash. Um, it's a lot more palatable than what Europe is dealing with. Sweden has been dethroned as the number one country for our pay by the United Kingdom. Okay? There are so many migrants in Ireland, all right, because Ireland does still have its own separate country. It hasn't been completely taken over. But there were stories coming out about just hordes of migrants filling up the airports. As, of course, the European Commission sets their mandates for how many migrants these countries have to take in. And this is one of the things with the left. Instead of actually fixing any of the fucking problems that push people to the position where they don't want to have kids anymore, no, we're going to do demographic replacement. We're just going to bring people into a shitty situation instead of fix the shitty situation. All right. What do we need in this country? We need fucking industry. Why do we need industry? Because industry is what allowed us to effectively win a war, given the Russians did more of the dying and fighting for it. But industry built all of the war machines, industry built all of the decent cars, industry built everything that American standards of living was based on. Good jobs, good pay, lack of competition because the competition was bombed to hell. And the only other competition was the Soviets. We had a lot of things going for us. And then the boomers decided to get rich by sending all the factories overseas and fucking over their younger generations because, oh my God, the factories suck. Yeah, yeah, they do. They do. You know what sucks worse? Being stuck working as a cashier at any of our fine retail stores. Oh yeah, shit, we automated that. What the hell do people do now? I don't know. Lie in an alleyway shooting drugs? I don't fucking know. Legitimately, like the overall situation on the ground is terrible. Okay. But listen, I am not preaching that we should have companies freely dumping toxic waste into the water supply. I hated fracking too. Okay. You know, the videos and the was it one of the town hall meetings? A dude brought in glass water from one of his wells, and was trying to get whatever officials for the county or township or state, but it was much smaller, I think, to drink that shit because, of course, hydraulic fracturing. You don't exactly know where those fractures end. All right, so of course it had sand mixed in it, and it had uh, the wondrous methanes and oils that were dissolved in to the water. And of course, they're not going to drink it, but they're still going to approve more fracking. I don't like the idea of polluting the fucking water supply and the air and everything else. We can do advanced manufacturing. We don't have to have factories like they used to be, where they're coal fired and they have flywheels the size of fucking houses. We don't need that anymore. We can do advanced manufacturing. We could be quite successful with it. All right. Although we have to stop from automating all of the people out of existence and having every process be done by computers and machines. Anyway, the idea of bringing back dirty industry, fine. We don't have to bring back dirty industry, but every single thing, all right, part of the whole lefty progressive push, every single thing has to be monitored, which means everything needs a bureaucracy, and every single bureaucracy is totally not bribable or capturable. Like, you look at the fucking bureaucracy we have in the US now. Look at it. Do you think for a fucking second that of all of these bureaus and oversight committees and all this bullshit, do you think for a fucking second, whether it's predominantly red or predominantly blue, do you think for a fucking second that these people are honest? Do you think that they're not getting paid off to look the other way? You already saw this more recently with one of the data centers. I forget which area, but they forced it through. And now the challenge is picking up. The reality is, all right, and honestly, the thing with the data centers is a racket in itself. Personally, I won't go anywhere fucking near that bullshit. Um, it's a thing. This country, at this point, the economy runs on hope, dreams, and pyramid schemes, and people are out of hope. They're out of dreams. So all we got left is pyramid schemes. The overall situation is pretty bad. Now, what the hell is the solution to any of this? All right, what the hell is the solution? Because whether it doesn't matter who the fuck's in charge, left or right, the government still wins. All right, you're not you're not going to vote your way out of this. You have to realize this. Go back over the last 20 plus fucking years. Have things gotten better? Have things gotten better? Okay. Now, based on what you've seen the past 20, 30 plus years, imagine the future 20, 30 plus years. Do you see things improving fucking at all? At all? At all? Oh, fuck no, they're not. Oh, fuck no. They're putting breathalyzers and AI and kill switches in the cars. The cars can barely fucking drive as it is. You can't get a fucking engine from any of the large automakers. The shit they're putting out now, engines that fail at 5,000 miles. All right. What is it? Everybody's beating up on Ford, and obviously, I'm gonna fucking jump in on that too. Personal opinion doesn't represent Spades Consulting LLC. Um, when it comes to Ford, one of the channels that I used to watch back in the day, dude, literally made an entire life for himself on carving up and dealing with cow hooves. He gets a Ford over the ocean. He literally imports a Ford truck. And the fucking thing couldn't make it 7,000 miles without needing some legit fucking fixes. And it's just like, really? Really? That's the shit that you're putting out. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. I mean, on top of it, you add to the fact that the entire economy of the hinterland is built on Chinese parts. Like, we're in a bad spot as a country, a really bad spot. We are literally at that position where you are hooked just so much. You are hooked so hard, you've run out of money, and you're about to start making bad decisions in order to get your fix. We're there as a fucking economy, as an entire nation. Okay? What the hell do people do? Well, you should know goddamn well that any of this political talk back and forth, left is going to fix it, right is going to fix it, nobody's going to fucking fix it. You know what's going to fix it? When the entire system fucking implodes. All right, which a lot of people have been talking about for a while. Honestly, I'm one of those two where I'm surprised it's lasted this long. All right, but also cranking up the printing press and running it for over a decade straight, and then pumping it up, adding more presses and running them till the fucking plates melt. All right, didn't exactly see that coming as a viable fucking option, but apparently, at least for quite a while, it has been. Regardless, is there any growth in manufacturing? Because these people on the left, they'll talk about all the suffering. They'll talk about all the suffering, but one thing in particular, if it's going to harm a hair on a bee that might fly past them while they're drinking wine and eating grapes in the California sun, they will cut every single idea, plan of any kind of industry making things, doing anything productive. They will fucking halt that shit and they will bury it in so much legal hell that nobody will ever think to try to fucking do anything productive ever again, which is a large part of the reason why the Western economy is all service based. You'd have to be insane to try to fucking make things. All right? At least as it's been. That's about to change. All right? That's about to change. Anyway, progressives, as far as they go, as far as the left goes, they will stand there and whine and cry and bitch and complain. They will stand in the way of doing anything. That's all they exist to do. They're not going to make anything. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to help out in any fucking way. But they are going to cry and scream and bitch and complain and shoot holes and tear down anybody who has a fucking idea who's actually willing to go through with it. The only solution for the US in its current state is for the population to walk away. All right? Completely walk away. Separate every single part of their fucking life from the economy, from the fucking legal system, from everything. Okay? And let everything go to shit. All right? Ideally, it'd be real good if the left and right could just come together and we can agree, okay, government doesn't work, and we're not going to do this anymore. So let's both sign, repeal all parties, repeal all politics, repeal all bureaucracies, bureaucrats, offices, from the highest heights to the lowest lows, disband all of it. All right? Everybody armed to the teeth. We agree. You leave me alone, I leave you alone, and whoever transgresses meets the hole puncher. Okay? Of course, I gotta do coded fucking language with everything. God forbid I'm fucking honest. But that's the thing. People just leave each other the fuck alone. You know, if your neighbor wants to if your neighbor's fruit tree is overgrowing your fence and for some reason you're offended, all right? Like everything over that fucking fence, eh, it belongs to the majority. So the fence is the dividing line between the property. If a fucking apple tree or something is there and it grows up next to the fence, if half the fucking apples fall over into the other neighbor's yard, those belong to the other neighbor now. All right? Simple. Simple. Do we need an entire fucking legal system and all of the bullshit to really go over this shit? No. No, we don't. Oh, another example, honestly, tree law is an interesting one. But if your neighbor cuts down your tree because they hate the apples, then obviously the neighbor transgressed. Regardless, we have to get to the point as a country and on an individual level where we agree to leave each other the fuck alone. And should anybody violate that fucking agreement, all right? Anybody violate that fucking agreement, we agree that whoever transgressed gets filled full of holes. Okay? Very simple. Let people handle their own fucking shit. All right? And eventually, after maybe 50 fucking years, maybe 100, all right? Hopefully, we'll get back to the point where we have enough things in common and all of the fucking tarded ideas that have come out since we've been so fucking pampered ideologically and so spoiled in terms of, oh my God, we can do all these things. Yes, you can do all those things, but the question is, should you? Should you indoctrinate children in the schools? No, let's just get rid of the fucking schools. Because most of the education has been indoctrination from the fucking beginning. The history's a fucking lie. The history's a lie. The only thing that school's good for is fucking math and, hardening up your English. But for the most part, fuck it. Fuck it. Well, don't you want to know how to do quadratic equations? Who the fuck is using quadratic equations every single day? As long as we have access to the information, we can get it when we need it. There you go. You don't need an entire education system. You do need to socialize kids. You do need to get all the kids together to fucking bullshit and just exist. And naturally, human society kind of came out from that. All right. You get groups together, and naturally you get hierarchies, and naturally some people do things, other people do other things. Some people stay within the lines, some people paint outside the lines, and that might become problematic. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know anymore with any of the bullshit. All right? We don't have a society anymore, which honestly makes my job a lot fucking harder because it's not back when the system was constantly messaging people. All right. Reefer Madness was one of the more comical examples of this. All of the old shit in the 40s, 50s, 60s, I mean, shit, it goes all the way back to the early 20s, the constant messaging. The government was actively trying to create the set expectations for how people should behave in certain situations. And then at some point, everybody in government realized that if we just stop doing that and just let people go off and do their fucking thing and yeah, do whatever the fuck you want. We could make a whole fuckload of money off these retards. And you know what they did? They went out and they made a whole fuckload of money on all of these retards. All right. Think about how much money, like, oh my God. So I'm not going to bash too much on, like, you know, mm, every single kid, the majority of kids as they're growing up, they want to have funny colored hair. Okay. And it's part of their process of becoming an individual. All right. But normally that's a phase. All right. Normally that's a phase. Normally people give up on the fun colored hair and move back into their natural hair color. Okay. The people who stick with the individuate that level of individuation, all right, into their later lives, those people tend to be absolutely mental. All right, absolutely mental. Now, if it was just hair dye, that's one thing, but it's not. It's not. They have to not only set themselves apart from everybody, but then they have to go out into the world and preach and try to convert everybody else. Like, yeah, I don't care what people say. You cannot justify going into schools. You cannot justify drag queen story hour. Okay. Oh my God, you're bigoted. I'm a weirdo too. All right. I'm a fucking weirdo too. If you want to know, I am definitely fucking weird. Not necessarily that specific kind of weird, but I'm a weirdo too. And because you could technically paint me in the very many letters club, no, technically you could definitely paint me in the very many letters club. Um, I knew that shit was wrong from the fucking beginning. From the fucking beginning, that was insane. But now we have to do it because everybody is special. And we can't have any non special people. Special in the wrong kind of way. We can't have any non special people. We must convert everybody. So, you know, we're going to get them when they're children. No, no, that was wrong. That was fucked up. But the left will never admit to that. This is part of the reason why Trump won in the first place. All three times. Is part of the reason why Trump won. You went after people's kids. You crossed a fucking red line. The fact that there hasn't been fucking mass sprees in this country is fucking incredible. It's fucking incredible. But then you spread the ideology and all of that bullshit into every facet of fucking society. Like, no. No, Karen, you don't have to stand for every fucking cause. You don't have to stand for every cause. Shut the fuck up and go back to your McMansion. All right, Jesus fucking Christ. Like the entirety of what used to be society has gone completely fucking mental. And the reality is we cannot have a functioning government in this country. We're too fractured. All right, we don't have common beliefs anymore. We've gotten to the point where people have become such individuals that it's a threat to the society itself. And then the fact that people use all of these individual fucking groups as a fucking weapon. People with a fuckload more money than you or I will ever fucking see in our lives are using these groups as a fucking weapon to their own ends. But people on the left in particular, they seem to be very happy about being used as a hammer for some rich assholes to destroy the fucking country so they can get even richer. I it, I fucking hate politics. I fucking hate it. I really do. Because there are common there used to be common sense. It's not common anymore. There used to be a base common understanding. All right? Base common understanding. You don't go after people's kids. People leave each other the fuck alone. If you transgress on somebody, they have the right to bounce back and beat your fucking ass. If you're going out into the world and being a fucking asshole, you got what's coming to you. Okay? That's the way things worked. Everybody pays their bills, they charge reasonable rents and people pay their rents. They charge reasonable fees and people pay those fees. And at some point, everything fucking changed. Everything fucking changed. Well, we're going to do this. We're going to do carbon credits and we're going to tax you every time you turn on your air conditioner. You realize this hurts you too. We're saving the environment. Sure, you are. Tell yourself that. Tell yourselves that. Tell yourselves that. Because really, what you're doing is you're choking off the electricity for normal people so rich people can continue to fucking keep their mansions lit 24/7. All right? This is the thing, honestly, people have told me in the past I really should think about a life in politics. It's just like, oh, Jesus Christ, they'd kill me instantly. Are you fucking kidding? Like, if I ran for just a second, a little bit of sanitizing. If I ran for politics, they'd fucking, like, it would be Kennedy all over again, except instead of Oswald and the grassy knoll, they'd drop an entire fucking nuke on me, because I'd actually unfuck things. Alright? I know exactly where to start. Oh, we're zoning this area. You can't do this here. You can't do that here. Like, okay, within reason. Within reason, some of that is kind of reasonable. But when it comes to most things for most people, yeah, it might be zoned residential. But if people want to have their own flock of chickens, if they want to have, a chicken coop, fuck off, let them. If they want to fucking grow things, fuck off, let them. If they want to have a fucking deer farm, that area is not zoned. Well, honestly, a deer farm is sketchier because of the cervid diseases, the chronic wasting. Uh, touchy, very touchy. But if people want to fucking do shit on their own fucking property, leave them the fuck alone. Leave them the fuck alone. We don't need the HOAs. We don't need fucking permitting and zoning and all this other fucking bullshit. Fuck off, leave people alone. And if you don't like that and you have to fuck with people and their fucking freedom and their ability to do what the hell they want to do with their lives, don't be surprised when the hole punchers start launching things. It's fucking simple. It's fucking simple. All right, and with the fucking jobs, also simple. There's work that needs to get done. You If you hire somebody for $15 an hour, they cost you 30 an hour. As a business, you have to charge more than 30 an hour in order to get profitable. Okay? In order to make actual profit. That's how the shit works. All right? The costs of holding an employee essentially double their salary. Okay? It is a lot harder. It is a lot harder to have hiring in this country when you've got costs like that. All right, because you could hire somebody for $15 an hour. You could. There are tons of small businesses right now that could hire people. Tons of medium businesses. Decent amount of large ones that could hire people right now. They could probably hire people at 20 an hour. Okay? Regardless of their position. But they can't afford an extra $20 an hour to hold on to that person within this structure. We need less structure. We need less regulation as it applies to regular everyday people. Okay? You want to fucking regulate giant ass fucking companies. Honestly, fuck it, go ahead. But leave normal people the fuck alone. Well, do you want a factory on your doorstep? Believe me, Karen. Believe me. I know you will shoot down every single nuclear power plant idea. All right? Whatever. I don't care. But if you're going to shoot down the nuclear power, that also means you can't have the electric car, and that also means that you can't have AI in the data center. You can't have Gemini, you can't have GPT, you can't have any of that. Any of that. No cloud, none of it. None of it. All right? Honestly, I'm just frustrated with all of it. I really am. I really am. I fucking hate how fucking demented and just poisonous the fucking atmosphere is with the politics. It's too much. It's too fucking much. I fucking. I really do wish or hope that one day we could just all fucking agree that, alright, the experiment failed. We're all just going to exist in this country. And that's it. I'm gonna do my thing. You're gonna do your thing. You try to fuck with my thing, I'm gonna fuck you up. I try to fuck with your thing, you're gonna fuck me up. So we don't fuck with each other's things. Okay. Where will the jobs come from? People figure it the fuck out. They always do. All right. Waiting, and this is the thing, waiting for corporations to, hand out fucking jobs to people. We need jobs. Yeah, definitely. We do. We do. There's been a lot of fucking layoffs and a lot of displacement. But the solution is not going to come from corporates. Truth be told, if you really want to see things change, stop fucking spending money at corporates. All right. And just actually, here's one perfect example. Let's dabble into the prices a little bit and just leave politics fucking behind. Ugh. When it comes to the prices, I shit you not, one fucking sandwich at a certain fast food place, won't say which, is now like $7, $8. Meanwhile, you can go to the medium business, not too far away, and you can get an entire fucking sub for $10. One sandwich, entire sub, same price. The fuck is going on? All right, there's no way that the corporate monstrosity has costs so high that they legitimately have to charge 8 fucking bucks for a sandwich when you can get an entire sub for $10. Given is it gonna be fancy? Fuck no, it ain't. But it is what it is. I don't even know where the hell I'm going with this. I'm just I I hate the politics. I really do. Because honestly, there's too many inflammatory people, left and the right, but there's too many inflammatory people out there just stirring the fucking pot. And it's just like, you're not fixing anything. You're not fixing a goddamn thing. And neither will your politicians. They're not going to do a fucking thing. For the love of God, give up on it. But the government is the source of all power. No, it's fucking not. No, it's fucking not. I can't say the handful of things that normal people can do that would change the fucking world, but what I will say is that the power has always been with the people. You're just all a bit too fucking lazy. And you got no balls. That's honestly the worst fucking part. Everybody sits around waiting for the government to fix things. Grow a fucking pair. That's the fucking secret. You want things to change? Grow a fucking pair. All right? But when you're out there fighting for change, make sure it is the change that takes the chains off instead of putting new ones on. Make sure that the shit that you want to see in the world is not going to fuck things up more. Regardless, I will end it here. If you like and appreciate this mostly rant video, like, favorite, sub, share, do all the things, ring the bell, ding the bell, tickle the bell, do all the things to your heart's content to the bell. Hype it if it comes up, leave a comment. I do read them. And if you're interested in personal or business consulting, primarily, stop by www.spadesconsulting.com and we will get back to you relatively quickly. With that, I will end it here. You guys have a good one, and I will see you next time.